So I just got back from seeing the brand new Jurassic World Rebirth, and honestly guys, I had a pretty good time with this film. I'm a pretty hard sell with the Jurassic Park movies at this point. I think they're a little bit played out. I obviously love the original. I like the first one. I believe it's Jurassic World with Chris Pratt. You can take or leave any of the others. I don't care about any of them. But if you are somebody who loves dinosaurs, you love this franchise, you have kids, you want a light summer blockbuster you can go out and just have some fun with, I think this is a pretty sure hit. Most people are going to at least enjoy this film. And I'll go out on a limb immediately and say, in my opinion, this is easily the second best Jurassic Park ever made. I know a lot of people wanted to dump on it from the trailer. The trailer kind of undersells the strong points of this film, but stick with me, I'll explain. I think this movie has a lot of strong stuff. What the movie's about, it stars Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, and others, and basically you have this group of mercenaries who is hired by this for-profit pharmaceutical company to go to this existing island where dinosaurs still roam. They want to get blood samples from these enormous dinosaurs so they can cure heart disease, become millionaires, fly off into the sunset. You've seen this shtick 100 times. All of the Jurassic Parks kind of play the same. There's always some cartoony final boss of a villain who comes in and tasks scientists with doing this unethical stuff to dinosaurs, or they want to take it all for profit, make these giant parks. What I really like about this film, it feels a lot different than the other Jurassic Parks. It definitely has the tone, it has the heart, but it feels in structure a lot different than the other ones. There's no park in this one. You're just on a prehistoric feeling island where the dinosaurs roam freely, and it's a survival of the fittest tale. And I actually really like that. It makes the movie feel fresh. What I think I really enjoyed about this film, this is a very grounded take, as I just said, but I really enjoyed the characters, the moving pieces of the story as they progress as it goes. I think this is a very strong movie, acting-wise and character-wise amongst this franchise. Movie has Scarlett Johansson. She is very good in this film. She proves once again she can carry a starting role. I think her on-screen presence in this is very, very good. Then you got Mahershala Ali. Great to see him back in another film. This guy acts like the rent is due. I think he is fabulous in this film. I'm going to talk about him a little bit later, but I think he is perfectly cast in this film as this boating captain. But you have a couple of other characters I really enjoyed as well. You have a doctor in here who's kind of the moral dilemma guy who's presenting you with cases of what we are actually doing, what is the purpose of these samples, why we are involved with the dinosaurs. He's like this museum doctor. I really like this character. I think he presents a lot of good points. I think he is a strong comedic relief, and I think he just adds a wrinkle to this movie that gives it a little bit more depth than just dinosaurs. Mercenaries in this film stumbled upon a shipwreck of a normal family, and the dad in that family was just really enjoyable to me. He has some comedic moments. He's looking after his children. I just liked the entire arc of that little subgroup of characters that family included, mostly involving the boyfriend. The first time he is presented, I think he's an absolute cartoon character, and I was kind of worried about the tone of this film, but he has 3 or 4 really strong comedic relief moments, and that's a positive to this movie, I will say as well. I think this movie knows what it wants to be. It's very return to form for Jurassic Park. It's very heavy on the comedy. It's very light in tone throughout. And this is just a Jurassic Park version into this franchise that is designed for your entire family to go out and see it, because people of all ages can enjoy this because of the jokes they throw in and just the style of the story. It's very easy to understand. It's very easy to follow. The first 20 or 30 minutes of this film is just pure exposition. A guy's explaining to other scientists what the point of this all is, what's going on with the dinosaurs, why they need these samples. So the first act of this film just plays like a Microsoft Teams meeting at a corporation where they're explaining the goals of the quarter, how they're going to achieve their goals. It is just very heavy and thick on the exposition in the first half of the film, and I think that might slow down this film for people who don't expect that. Another thing I feel like I have to point out, because I keep consistently seeing this mentioned on the internet, I can easily overlook it. This movie is definitely doing commentary on the state of the world, and it will fall into that category that will offend people for sure. A lot of the plot is structured around climate change and what we're doing to the environment and how we can be a better society and how we can save people instead of corporate greed. The undertone is obviously there, the messages they're preaching. It did not bother me, but it is laid on thick at points to the point, unless you are completely oblivious, you will say, kind of preaching. But if you're somebody who's just sitting here wondering, is this a cool summer blockbuster and is the action good? I can all but guarantee you will have a pretty good time with this film. I thought this movie had a really good CGI. In fact, I think the dinosaurs and their movement in the world is really good, probably the best since the first. And I think this movie has some awesome set pieces. You get this giant scene on the water amongst the dinosaurs that are swimming. You get this scene on land with a T-Rex in the river. That scene is really cool. So you get a little bit of everything, a smorgasbord of dinosaurs you have never seen before. You get mutated dinosaurs, you get giant set pieces in the water, on earth and land. It's cool. You get to see a little bit of everything. So if you are here for the action, you are here for the CGI, I think it really gets back to the heart of what got people into this franchise, what makes it a little bit intense. I can't lie though, the same issues I've had with the vast majority of these films since the original, I think there is something missing about this film when it comes to that heart. Sure, there are definitely touching moments, and I do really enjoy the character arcs of this film. In fact, as I said, I think these characters are incredibly strong for a Jurassic Park film. But there's just something flat about this film. Like the majority of these, like the Jurassic Worlds prior, where you're watching these giant epic set pieces, but you don't really feel that adrenaline the first one elicited. Your heart's not pumping. You're not really like, I wonder if they get out of this. It's really cool visually. Don't get me wrong. I had a really fun time with it. It's just, there's something missing. Like I was not in it and I wanted to kind of be like, grabbed a little bit more. It's just not there. Finishing up with when you get to the end of this movie, if I'm going to turn on my critic brain, because again, this is a Jurassic Park film, it requires suspension of disbelief. So I know what I get going into it, but for some people it will be too much. There's a lot of stupid stuff in this. But when you get to the end of the film, turning on my critic brain, there is definitely massive issues with the writing, how this movie ends and plot armor and things that would just never happen. It's like, how did we arrive here? But at the same time, I'm happy they did because I enjoyed this film. I think it's going to do very good at the box office. So I think we're going to get a sequel like most of these movies. In the moment, it felt kind of stupid. If you've seen the movie, you know exactly what scene I'm talking about. But I'm glad they did it because if we move forward into a sequel, I want that core part of the story. It was one of my favorite parts. It was one of my favorite characters. It was one of my favorite plot point progressions. So I think we take a little bit of a loss now. We keep that going forward. So I like the choice. I think the writing is completely asinine how we arrived there. So overall, guys, I'm just going to say I had a pleasant time with this film. I'm happy I got to see it early. It was a lot better than I thought. My expectations for these movies were pretty much in the tubes after the Chris Pratt ones, especially the late sequels. But me and the person I saw this with, we had a really good time with it. We thought it was pretty fun. We thought it was well above average. We thought it was probably the second best Jurassic Park. And we thought it was just a smooth watch. We wouldn't mind a sequel. I had a good time with this movie. So if you guys do get around to seeing Jurassic Park Rebirth, if you're a big fan of dinosaur movies, comment down below. Let me know what your favorite Jurassic Park movie is besides the first movie. Do you have any interest seeing this? As always, if you haven't subscribed yet, join me down below. Comment, like, subscribe. All of that stuff really helps the algorithm. I'll see you in the next review. Peace!